The Liberals' grocery rebate bill is one step closer to becoming a reality after the Senate voted in favor of the measure today. The bill had been before the Senate since April 19th after being fast-tracked through the House of Commons with all-party backing. Once the bill receives royal assent, it will implement the one-time rebate expected to cost $2.5 billion. The federal government says a couple with 2 children could get a one-time payment of up to $467, while a single person would get $234 and a senior would get $225. The Canada Revenue Agency confirmed last week it plans to issue the payments in July. For more on this, we're joined live now by retail analyst and author Bruce Winter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, G.
So at this point, with the cost of living, every dollar makes a difference for families and for people. Tell us a little bit more about the significance about this rebate.
Well, I think it is significant in that it shows that the government is at least making some effort to help folks, because it's been an absolute nightmare for folks who are living at the margin, low-income folks. When you look at the cost of housing and you look at the cost of food, food inflation was hovering above 10% for too long a time. And it's just difficult for these folks to make ends meet.
Who can access this rebate?
I'm not sure about the criteria, but my understanding it's about 11 million people who can access it. So there's probably some factors in play as it relates to, what your income is and things like that. But hopefully it's being divvied out in a way that really helps the people who need it and not people who certainly don't need it.
Yeah, we're hearing that it'll be for anyone middle to low income Canadians. But I want to talk about the fact that it is a one-time rebate. Again, every dollar makes a huge difference. But what are your thoughts of the fact that this is a one-time payment?
Yeah, I don't think it's really enough. I mean, I understand, I'm a capitalist, but you know what? I think we do have a big problem right now in the country in affordability, especially in the urban centers like the Torontos, the Montreals, and Vancouvers. And I think the government has to really challenge itself and work with business to try to find a way so that people can afford to live in this country. I'm really concerned about it. It's a nice gesture from the government, but certainly it's not enough. It's more just a short-term kiss. We really need some long-term solutions here.
Yeah, and the one-time rebate is expected to cost the government about $2.5 billion. Some would argue that that money would be better served trying to fix the problem as opposed to just doing this one-time rebate.
Yeah, I think we need to slowly but surely increase minimum wage and increase wages in the country. And I know that puts an impact on some businesses, but we really have to, make the numbers work, especially for young people or people who are living at the margin. Cities like Toronto have just become too expensive to live. And I think, governments need to react to that. Governments are supposed to serve the people. And I think that they need to show up and start doing some of that.
And looking ahead to the trends, do you think food inflation is going to be here for a while?
It's slowly starting to come down. It sounds like it's on the way down, but it's still elevated, right? It's probably going to be a year or two, I would imagine, until you start to see it back to normal. And that's a long time for people. And like I mentioned, you've got rent increases, that are through the roof and other prices that are through the roof. It's just a really tough time right now.
Okay, retail analyst and author Bruce Winter, we thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, G.